everyone, Dr. Misty here. I'm in my house, just like you're in your house, but I thought that shouldn't stop us from having a science story time today. Today we're going to be reading a book that I actually wrote several years ago called Why Are There Seasons? And I feel it's appropriate because we just had the spring equinox. We went from the season being winter to the season being spring. And I wanted to talk to you about why that happened and why we're having the seasons. So why are there seasons? There are 4 seasons in a year: summer, fall, winter, and spring. Summer is marked by hot days, green grass, and green leaves on trees. Fall brings cooler weather and colorful leaves. Winter has cold days, bare trees, and snow. Spring brings warmer weather and lots of beautiful flowers. But why do we have seasons? We have seasons because the earth leans to the side. It's tilted. Let's all tilt together. As the earth spins around once in a day, it's tilted at an angle, about 23.5 degrees. The earth also moves around the sun once in a year. As it moves around the sun, the direction of the tilt changes toward or away from the sun. The summer solstice. On the first day of summer, the earth tilts the most towards the sun. The sun appears at its highest in the sky and casts the shortest shadows. The day is the longest, the night is the shortest. When the sun is at its highest, the earth receives the most direct sunlight. This makes summer the hottest season of the year. And in our picture here, we're going to look at the same picture, the same playground every time throughout the year as we go through a whole year. And you can see that our sun is very high in the sky. It's actually at its highest on the summer solstice, and our shadows are very short. As summer continues, the sun begins to dip in the sky. The shadows are a little longer. The days are a little shorter. The nights are a little longer. The fall equinox. On the first day of fall, the earth is neither tilted toward nor away from the sun. This makes the day and the night the same length. So we've moved in our orbit around the sun from the summer solstice to the fall equinox. And here, the whole face of the earth is receiving roughly the same amount of sunlight. And at this point, our sun has come a little bit lower in the sky because we're not tilted so far towards it anymore. And our shadows are starting to grow. They're getting longer. As fall continues, the sun dips even lower in the sky. The shadows are even longer. The days are now shorter than the nights. The earth receives a little less direct sunlight each day and begins to cool. This makes the leaves on the trees change color and fall. The winter solstice. On the first day of winter, the earth tilts the furthest from the sun. The sun appears at its lowest in the sky and casts the longest shadows. The day is the shortest, the night is the longest. When the sun is at its lowest, the earth receives the least amount of direct sunlight. This makes winter the coldest season of the year. And our earth now, we've gone from the summer solstice to the fall equinox to the winter solstice in our orbit around the sun, and we're tilted away from the sun. This tilting away makes the sun appear much lower in the sky, and that makes the shadows very long. As winter continues, the sun begins to rise higher in the sky. The shadows begin to shorten. The days grow a little longer and the nights a little shorter. Let's see, our sun has moved up in the sky now. The spring equinox, and that's where we're at right now. On the first day of spring, the earth is neither tilted toward nor away from the sun, just like the fall equinox. This makes the day and the night the same length. And so we've moved in our orbit from the summer solstice, fall equinox, winter solstice, all the way over here to the spring equinox. And our sun, you guys can see, is much higher in the sky now. As spring continues, the sun rises even higher in the sky. The shadows are even shorter. The days are now longer than the nights. The earth receives a little more direct sunlight each day and begins to warm. This warming brings blossoms to the trees and flowers to the ground. A whole year has passed, and it is the summer solstice again. The sun returns to its highest point, starting another year-long trek across the sky. And so on the next page, we're going to look at all of those pictures again and see what had happened throughout the whole year. So during the year, the tilt of the earth towards or away from the sun changes the amount of direct sunlight it receives. And this is why we have seasons. So we can see in the top row here, we're starting out with the summer solstice, and we're moving through the fall equinox towards the winter solstice. And what's happening? Well, the sun starts out at its highest point in the sky, and it's moving a little bit lower as we travel through in its orbit through to the winter solstice. And in the bottom row, we're going from the winter solstice through the spring equinox, which is now again, to the summer solstice. And we can see it's doing the opposite. The sun is starting at its lowest point, and it's moving higher and higher in the sky till it gets to its highest point again at the summer solstice. And the tilt of the earth is the reason why the sun appears to do that on the sky. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that I will get to see you all very, very soon, and stay happy and healthy and safe in your houses. Thank you.